Hello. Happy full moon in Virgo. I touched on the Virgo full moon in my last one, but yeah, looking closer at all the other things going on, and as well there's current events that align with what's going on in the sky. So I just wanted to mention a couple things, and as just a heads up, it's Friday night and my neighbors are having a gathering upstairs, and I don't know if it's like a game night, but there's a lot of excitement going on, so you might hear some um, unexpected noises. So yeah, the full moon in Virgo is happening on Saturday the 24th at 5 degrees 23 minutes at I think 4:30, around 4:35 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And so it's going to be the moon in Virgo opposing the sun in Pisces, and Virgo is connected to health, being of service to others, and really paying attention to your body and making improvements. And there can also be like a tendency to criticize or be critical of what you see, but it's meant to, like, Virgo's really good at pointing out what's not working in order to make those improvements. It's an earth sign, so this is going to be in a flowing, harmonious, smooth aspect to Jupiter in Taurus, which Taurus is connected to our body as well. It's the sign that wants all five senses stimulated or fulfilled in some way. And it also, Taurus has a lot to do with our foundations and our stability and food, and how we get our food. And then it's also, this moon in Virgo is also trining, like having that fluid, harmonious, smooth aspect to an asteroid named Ceres, Ceres, which is how we nurture ourselves, or it's kind of like the energy of, like in Capricorn, it can be connected to, Capricorn's like an authoritarian sign, so it could be like organizations that are connected to food production or farmers. So that's another reason why I wanted to mention a couple things about this full moon with this particular aspect. Ceres in Capricorn can indicate like food restrictions. Like Capricorn can be a very sign that puts rules and regulations on certain structures, and so I don't know if you've heard any other news going on about like farmers protest and strikes all over the world. Pretty much, almost several countries in Europe, the UK, I think, France, Belgium, Norway, I want to say Spain, like there's a good handful of them, India as well. I mean, that's just to name a few. And then locally, at my local farmers market, there is a bill that the governor is trying to push that would cut funding to CNIP, which is the California Nutrition Incentive Program, which has been around since 2015. And so the work that CNIP has been doing since then has been like very grassroots, trying to be able to get local farmers to be successful. And part of the benefits, or part of the program that allows them to be successful, is this match market or market match incentive that they allow for EBT users such as myself to take part in. So when you go to the farmers market, you can get double the amount of EBT dollars and be able to purchase produce, like fresh produce from local farms. And so there's a bill that they want to pass that would cut 94% of the budget. So for 3 years, CNIP has a budget of $35 million, and they want to cut $33.2 million of it. And who knows where they're going to put that money. But by taking away this, by passing this bill and taking away this market match program, that takes away $19.5 million from California small farms each year. And so these farmers are able to sell at farmers markets as opposed to like the big box grocery chains. And people in California, families, individuals, shop at the farmers markets rather than the big food chains, so that they can take advantage of I mean, like, support small farms and take advantage of this program, the incentive program for nutrition, California Nutrition Incentive Program. And so I just wanted to mention that. And there is a website called savemarketmatch.org where you can sign the petition and send a pre-drafted email to the government officials to save Market Match. And I mean, it's really a shame that they would even propose this. It's like a huge insult to CNIP, and that just makes, families and individuals have to struggle that much more, that much harder to get fresh produce. So it's pretty insulting, if you ask me. So I can link that website below, and hopefully we can get some support. And it goes along with this full moon, with this trine to Ceres and Capricorn and Jupiter in Taurus. And the ruler of Capricorn is Saturn, and Saturn is in Pisces. And so Saturn in Pisces will also be in that cluster, in that stellium that will be opposing the moon, the full moon in Virgo. And so if we connect the dots with the planets, the moon in Virgo is ruled by Mercury, which is in Pisces, and that tells me that there is information and details that can be gleaned from, our intuition and dreams, and things that we don't get from like news outlets, or things that we access. It's like an internal communication. And if we look at Pisces, the ruler of Pisces, the traditional ruler is Jupiter, which is in Taurus, and the ruler of Taurus is Venus. Venus is in Aquarius, and it just came off of a conjunction with Mars, and so it's kind of like a renewal of the relationship with Mars. So it's that masculine, feminine reboot. And it's already gone through Pluto. Both of them have gone through Pluto, the gates of Hades, and so there's this big transformation and transmutation of the Venus and Mars energies. Our values and goals are under review, and it's going through this death and rebirth. So our values and goals are going through a death and rebirth, and especially with Venus and Mars in an air sign, which our south node is also in an air sign. So there's a fluid, harmonious flow of knowing what to let go of, and air signs are connected to thoughts, and so it's these thought forms that we're letting go of, like negative, pessimistic ways of thinking. So Venus is the ruler of Taurus as well as Libra. And so if we look at the ruler of Aquarius, the traditional ruler is Saturn, which is also in Pisces. And Saturn is also the ruler of Capricorn. And then Saturn in Pisces is really asking us to make sure that we are spiritually cleansing our everything. Like, it's asking for spiritual wellness, like overall health and well-being, making sure that we are in alignment with natural laws and universal laws. And with the moon in Virgo opposing Saturn, it's like a deep spiritual cleanse, like spiritual deep cleaning. And those are the traditional rulers, so Jupiter and Saturn, who are still in a sextile. They're like 1 degree apart. So they are in a cooperative aspect to each other. And this, which is also known as a sextile, and this is also considered to be excitation, which is a word that Stephen Forrest uses to describe this aspect, is excitation. So there's like a creative opportunity. There's like both parties, Saturn and Jupiter, see opportunities where improvements can be made, or like there can be something that can be produced from this aspect. And in Taurus and Pisces, being an earth and water sign, it can be tangible, like tangible dreams. Visions can come true, dreams can come true, which is super exciting. And so, we look at the traditional rulers, Jupiter and Saturn, and then if we look at the modern rulers, of Pisces, which is Neptune. Neptune is also in Pisces, so it's in its own home sign, and that's going to be a very like, it's going to be there for a while, but it's been like this manifestation type of energy where you have like super creative opportunities and like potential to create the life that you want. And then if we look at the modern ruler of Aquarius, which is Uranus, it's also in Taurus. And then, you know, Taurus has everything to do with our foundations, money systems, food production, how we get our food, our values, and Uranus is the planet that stirs things up and shakes things out of stagnation in order to put them in new places and new positions that will help us evolve. And it can be, you know, it can be like unexpected, which can be stressful, but we are being asked to trust that everything that's happening is for our highest good. And yeah, like trusting the universe. And there's that sextile between Uranus and Neptune. I mean, there's about a, 5-degree difference, or like orb or whatever. But they will be getting closer. You know, that conversation is gonna get louder. And so it's that trust and unconditional acceptance, Neptune and Pisces, and that sudden disruption and unexpected events with Uranus and Taurus. It's going to be really interesting when Pluto retrogrades back into Capricorn, which is an earth sign, and will also make those, will also hit aspects to Neptune in Pisces. And I mean, the orbs are going to be, yeah, I'll have to take a look and see how close the orbs are, how close like Uranus moves closer to Gemini, like in the third part of Taurus, like so the last 10 degrees of Taurus. But yeah, so I just wanted to mention a couple things about the full moon in Virgo. And at the same time, the same day, Venus is going to be squaring Jupiter. So I think I mentioned that before. That can be like, you know, Venus in Aquarius squaring Jupiter in Taurus, like wanting to reward oneself. And at 19 degrees, that's a Libra degree, so it could be in relation to relationships and diplomacy. With Jupiter and Venus, there's that, like, I mean, it could be a celebration too, like going overboard and like really being proud of the progress that the relationship is making. Because with the Mars-Venus conjunction, the way I see that as is, you know, this unconventional congruence, like unheard of harmony, and like really doing things differently. Like not, you know, there's the feminine and masculine energies that are coming together in Aquarius, which is a very platonic kind of energy. It's less emotional, and like more no nonsense, just like very, you know, practical and future forward at the same time. And so like unconventional, and Venus and Mars are the rulers of the South Node and North Node. And so that adds to the trust that we can put in the universe, knowing that the rulers of our nodes are meeting in Aquarius and in harmonious aspects to the nodes. You know, like I said, Aquarius and Libra are air signs, and the South Node is in Libra, and the South Node is where we, you know, are releasing and letting go and shedding those overused, obsolete archetypes of Libra. So overthinking, comparing ourselves to one another, indecision, people-pleasing. And then Aquarius is in a sextile to Aries, which is that excitation or excitement, creative opportunity, and Mars is the ruler of Aries. And so we're able to really support one another in our independent endeavors and new adventures. And it's like, you know, our parents or grandparents probably wouldn't have thought this kind of progress or approach to relationships or separating. Like, traditionally speaking, there's been like some sort of discord or animosity toward the other when separating. And so this time around, especially with these two planets having gone through Pluto, we're doing things differently. And then the traditional ruler of Aquarius, Saturn in Pisces, is allowing us to really accept things as they are and have the understanding that there is something bigger in play. You know, we're doing this for the collective and for like this spiritual alignment for the collective to progress and evolve. So there's a lot of really cool aspects about this particular lunation. And I mean, I like how, you know, Mercury, the ruler of Virgo, in the transiting charts, it's not squaring any planets. You know, if you have personal planets in Sagittarius or Gemini, then there could be some sort of tension. There could be like some confusion and like immutable signs that can look like having too many options and not knowing like where to start. But with this particular full moon, I really feel like that it's asking us to pay attention to our bodies and like take that sacred moment to see how we're feeling, especially with the traditional ruler of Pisces, Jupiter in the sign of Taurus, which is all about the body and like that, you know, attention to our somatic feelings. Oh, another thing I wanted to mention about this lunation was how it's 5 degrees is a Leo degree, and so it's about self-expression. And I feel like it's really, you know, asking us to speak the truth, speak our truth, have like a lot of integrity behind it, because Mercury in the sign of Pisces, and then also Saturn in the sign of Pisces at 9 degrees. Saturn at 9 degrees is connected to Sagittarius, and it deals with morals and our belief systems and like seeking the truth. And so with also Ceres and Capricorn in a sextile, or that creative opportunity to this full moon, which also involves Mercury and Saturn, there is the opportunity to take our health into our own hands. Or with Ceres and Capricorn, there could be people moving into new positions or new careers where they are looking to really take part in nurturing the collective. You know, whether that's catering or food, farming, you know, it could be spiritual nurturing, and that's like Reiki or any of these modalities, like spiritual modalities where we are relying and improving our inner awareness, and we're not relying on like external resources. And so we're like coming together as a, you know, community and sharing our skills, our natural skills, and like learning a lot from one another outside of the traditional conventional ways of learning. You know, like we're not we could possibly be moving away from like the traditional medical treatments. You know, like I've talked to so many people, like my neighbors, who have been diagnosed with like, you know, stage 1 diabetes or whatever, and they do their own research and they're able to reverse their diagnosis, and then they go back to the doctor, and the doctor's like surprised at how much improvement they made without the use of prescriptions. And so there's just more of that happening across the board, and I believe that as we pass this kind of information around, we are able to rely on ourselves and share this information and our skills and our resources with one another, and like distance ourselves from traditional conventional ways of how we've accessed food or medical treatment, or, you know, anything that has to do with health. So yeah, more of that. If we could all like take a peek at how these planets are lining up for us, we would be able to see how how optimistic we could really be, because we are making so many improvements that like the world or the mainstream media doesn't really showcase. Like there's a lot of people that are working on, you know, raising the vibration and really turning things around energetically. And the power of our energy surpasses the, like any other attempts. Like it just kind of, it's like The Secret. It is The Secret. It's like that movie, The Secret. It's what's really been hidden for so many generations, and it's like the key to our, it's like the key to our success. But it's just been so gatekept for so long. And like I mentioned before, you know, there's like this veil of illusion that was put in place to protect us at one point, but now it's just been, it's like overstayed its welcome, and a certain select group of people that have been in power for way too long have been taking advantage and like abusing this knowledge. But yeah, the more we share this kind of information, you know, it's, you know, we'll see how things are going to turn around, like even in the next 2 years, like within our lifetime. It's crazy. And I don't want to get too far ahead, but like with the Jupiter and Uranus conjunction in Uranus, that's going to be a big turning point. And then, yeah, I don't want to get too far ahead, but then we have the eclipse coming up in a couple weeks. Yeah, Venus is going to square Jupiter, and then on the 24th, and then Mars will be squaring Jupiter on the 26th. So those are at 10 degrees. 10 degrees is connected to Capricorn, which has to do with authorities, bossing up, I guess you could say, systems, resources, control. So yeah, there could be, I kind of see this as, you know, more protests happening. Like Mars in Aquarius is a revolution, like the revolution, and squaring Jupiter and Taurus. It's the benefits and the blessings and justice in the sign of Taurus relating to our foundation, money systems, food resources, our values. And then on the 27th, the Sun, Mercury, and Saturn will be at 9 degrees. And so that can be freedom and solitude, and really taking a stand, and again, like speaking your truth. And with Saturn being the ruler of Aquarius and Capricorn, it could be like new, it could be like new people coming into power, you know, like there could be an unearthing too, like a exposing of, I would say, certain authorities that, or even church figures that will be outed, you know. They can be outed, or there can be new people like being placed in these positions. Yeah, and then the 27th, the moon is going to conjunct the South Node in Libra. So we're going to be feeling the release of certain beliefs and relationships and attachments to certain ideas, you know, which is what we need. Like this, you know, anything that has to do with the South Node, or 8 degrees or 20 degrees, which are Scorpio degrees, have a lot to do with like letting go and purging in order to make room for what's to come. So that's something to get used to. You know, we're doing a lot of shedding and moltening, you know, whatever penguins do, they molten, they shed their feathers. So there's going to be a lot of that happening. And then the 29th, Venus will be trining the South Node, and Venus is the ruler of the South Node in Libra. So yay, more shedding and more releasing. And it will be in a sextile to, Venus will be in a sextile to the North Node in Aries, so that's the opportunity to be more independent, while also releasing the tendency to compare ourselves to others. So yeah, anybody who is or has placements in Virgo, Gemini, Sagittarius, or Pisces, which are the mutable signs, that will be feeling the tension. Anybody in Taurus and Capricorn, which are earth signs, will be feeling like a flow, like productivity or progress in whichever areas of life or houses those signs fall in, Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. You can always pull up your charts. I have a link on my link tree. There's a lot of resources on my link tree in connection to, or like relating to, like health is wealth. So yeah, I hope that was helpful, and I hope it made sense. And apparently we had a huge solar flare, like the biggest one that we had in the past 6 years, and there's hearsay or some sort of controversy about how it's connected to the power outage of the cell phone outage, like AT&T's towers were down, or it was a cyber attack. So I'm not sure what kind of information is out there, but as far as solar flares go, like, it does affect our bodies as well, because we are energetic beings. And so there's a focus of making sure that you get rest and stay hydrated and stay grounded, protect your energy. Like, that's another thing with this full moon in Virgo is, spiritual deep cleaning includes protecting your energy, and like connecting to those dreams or those unspoken or nonverbal messages that you could be getting. But in order to receive those divine messages, our channel needs to be clear of debris. And there's also the practice of cleansing your chakras. I just had an energetic healing from Isu. I think her Instagram is Share the Light. And it was pretty, it was really productive. Like, I had that pain in my lower back, and, she recommended these cord cutting practices to do daily, where, you set the intention and you, like, use your hand to, like, cut the cords. And, when you wash your hands with salt afterwards, and that's been helping, because, like, the pain in my back is gone. But then also, like, cleaning each chakra with salt, so regular table salt, like, cleanses negative energy. And so that's, like, another practice to incorporate that along with this new full moon in Virgo. So spiritual deep cleaning, and with Saturn in Pisces, we can really, keep these practices as routines. These, like, Virgo loves routines and daily rituals to improve our health, our physical health, and our, with the sun in Pisces is our spiritual health. Protecting your energy, grounding, staying hydrated, resting, and making sure that we're consuming nutrient-dense foods and refraining from eating foods that are going to block those nutrients from being absorbed, or like it'll drain. Like gluten, for example, will, like, block those nutrients from being absorbed. Deplete. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So, like, stay away from foods that will deplete those nutrients, because you don't want all that hard work and good food, and like that food, that healthy food, is probably not cheap. So you don't want to negate and waste all that effort and money by indulging too much, like going overboard. There's always a balance and, like, moderation, but there's the awareness of, like, how much depletion are you willing to sacrifice financially, nutritionally, energetically. So, okay, I hope that made sense. I hope it was helpful. Again, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you on the next one.